Welcome back to A for Adventures. Today, let's go discover Sevilla.
So we visited Sevilla back in March 2022 for our honeymoon actually. It's been such a long time and we had one of our best time just visiting that town.
It was so nice.
It was so kind, it was so small and like,
but
I don't mean
in a
small
nice way.
In a nice way. I remember one story really captured it very nicely. We had just visited the night and then the next morning we were walking towards the central district and this lady doesn't know us, holds our hand and starts explaining all the things that you can do in Sevilla in Spanish. We of course didn't understand her, but the sense of community was already there.
And you could tell she was being genuine.
She was actually being genuine and we really enjoyed being in that space. That sense of community was there throughout our stay. And the best part about it is Sevilla is actually underrated.
Yes.
It's one of those spots that is close by to other towns as well. But on its own as well, it contains so much rich history from the days of Muhammad and when the growth of Islam was happening. And that you can see that shift from Islam to Christianity and the beauty of that religion and religions that have brought the different cultures within that city.
And I think for me, what was so interesting is, like you said, it's so underrated, right? Because when we were planning, we did ask a couple of travel agents and nobody recommended Sevilla. And it was just, Barcelona, Madrid and Lisbon. Let's go to... And that's not something we wanted to do. And we're so glad that we ended up not following any of those itineraries and making our own, because I would love to do Sevilla again, just because it was so kind and it was so nice and it was such a wonderful way to end our trip. And that is why that is the Spain video that we are starting with.
The first thing to do is visit the real Alcázar. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. And this is basically a palace from the 11th century and it really contains all the atmosphere and the architecture from that era. And there is architecture that starts from the Muslim era that was leading that country at that time, and then moving on towards how it evolved over time with different people managing it, and then the evolution towards Christianity. Is the perfect space to show how religion combines and lives together.
Yeah, it was really cool. I think it was so beautiful. It was one of those buildings that, there's one picture I have that is still one of my favorites from that trip, because it's just genuinely very beautiful, and the walls all actually tell a very different story. There's one room where the ceiling is completely covered with stories, and it's kind of the things that you see in the movies, but
it was existing there. And one tip that we have, which is the tip across, is that buy your ticket online for this.
Yes,
you'll always save more money, and you will always skip the queue if you do that.
So we will add the links for all of the activities that we are recommending, and I think allow about 2 hours for this, just to be on the safe side. You might end up spending more time if you want to take lots of pictures,
which you will.
The second thing that you should visit in Sevilla is the Sevilla Cathedral itself and La Giralda, I think. It is basically together, but you do need to buy separate tickets. I would recommend buying the combined ones though, because you definitely want to see both of them. When you go to the tower, which is La Giralda, you'll actually climb up the stairs or the ramp, whatever you use, and you get to see Sevilla from the top. And it is quite beautiful, and you kind of get to see a little bit of what it would have been like during the things that we now refer to as history, and like war times and things like that. There's a huge bell, and one of the obviously things that we loved about Spain is there were audio tours everywhere, and so you actually know what's happening. The cathedral itself also has so many beautiful monuments, and it's just so mesmerizing to walk through that as well.
Next on the list is visiting Plaza de España or Maria Luisa Park. Both of them are basically the same spot, and it has a very nice canal type bridge. It has a canal itself as well, and actually there were some offices, administrative offices of the government right there as well.
There was a little museum in there as well, right?
There was a little museum inside there. This is one of the best spots to take pictures, hands down. Honestly, we took so many pictures.
I feel like one of our profile pictures is still a picture from there.
Still a picture from there. You can basically ride a boat on the canal yourself as well, and the best way, because there's a lot of walking to do, is hire some small golf cart, which basically allows you to drive around that spot.
It was so much fun. It was just
so nice.
It felt like we were just zooming.
Zooming away.
But it's so pretty. The bridge has these amazing, beautiful mosaic tiles. And I still remember those tiles because they really stand out. And this was the first place that we visited when we went to Sevilla. And as we kind of started going through the other places, mosaic tiles kind of started fitting in a puzzle of what Sevilla was and what each wall or each roof kind of tells you a story
They were
about.
a theme basically across.
Number 4 is to visit the Santa Cruz neighborhood. I'm pretty sure this is on most of the things to do in Sevilla list because it is such a beautiful neighborhood and you kind of just want to wander around, kind of, you know, not get lost, but get lost in those spaces in the streets. It's known as an old Jewish neighborhood and there's so many people and you'll definitely find somewhere nice to sit and have a coffee or a meal.
Or tapas.
Yes. So that's definitely something that you should do. It's not something you need to book anything for. We did it quite often, a number of times, while walking to something else.
Yeah, and it's really close. And the streets are so short and small.
Narrow, yeah.
And all the restaurants basically are around that area. So you can have a very nice meal as well. I remember we used to have a breakfast every day in that neighborhood.
Those crepes.
Ah, so nice. Next on the list is Setas de Sevilla or Metropol Parasol. This is a wooden bridge that's been created right near Sevilla, in the middle of it, and it's so gorgeous. It's a bridge essentially. You walk on it, and I have never seen architecture design like that.
It's so cool. It's such a big contrast to like what the rest of Sevilla is, that it's at the same time stands out but is remarkably cool. And
it's so beautiful.
I remember the tour that we did, the walking tour, and it was us on top of the whole landmark.
Bridge, yeah.
It was hectically amazing.
And you can see the entire city from there.
Yeah.
Like, again, this is one of those landmarks. I think what I love about Sevilla is there were so many landmarks, and because how small as a town it is in a very beautiful way, you can see everything from these higher spots.
Yes.
And it's really just the most gorgeous walk there in Spain.
There's also a little cafe at the bottom if you want to just relax and have a coffee.
And refresh.
Pastry.
Because there's a lot of walking to do.
Number 6 on the list of things to do in Sevilla, these are actually 2, so 6.1 is
6.5.
is cruise, the Guadalquivir River. It's really beautiful. It's a very simple cruise. You kind of walk along the promenade and we got an ice cream and then we headed onto the
A
cruise.
short canal actually that you just ride along.
And it was, I would say, less than an hour, but just a nice way to explore. And then after that, which is 6.2, you can go and visit Torre del Oro, which is essentially the bullfighting ring. So we didn't manage to catch any games.
Which we should have, and I think it would have been a much better experience.
Yes, to watch an actual match.
Yeah.
But you're right, we got to see like we walked through the whole thing. We could see like what it is like, lots of pictures and, you know, explanations of what happens and things like that. Next time we go, we are definitely going for a match.
There's a lot of bravery there.
Watched any movie ever that is set in Spain, they will have some scene that has to do with the red cloth and the bulls. And so if you're feeling brave, then go watch a match.
Number 7 on the list is a flamenco dance. This is the heart of Sevilla. You will see lots of it even on the streets. But we really recommend actually booking an experience where you can have a table and you're going to see the dance right in front of you. It's so amazing. It's so beautiful. And to be honest, it looks like a lot of hard work.
Yes, it does. And it transports you. It's not just a dance. It actually, you can feel the expression
of culture.
Yes, it's beautiful. As you know, we love walking tours because if you're short on time, that's one of the best ways to actually get to know a place in the best way. So Spain is obviously known very well for tapas, and you can do a walking tour with tapas. If you don't want to do that, then you can go for an eco-friendly walk instead, and you will still hit all of the spots that you need to if you're short on time.
Number 9 on the list is doing a cooking class. We didn't get to manage to do this, but food is the best way to know a place.
Yes.
It's either food, it's the streets, or it's just using the transport.
Oh yeah.
Or the other thing you can do is just go to a supermarket. But all of this, there is a connection there, and that's food. Cooking classes tells you a lot about the culture. It tells you a lot about how people interact with it. And the amazing part about a cooking class is that if it's run by a local, they'll also tell you about the history of it.
Yes.
Our experiences with all the locals in Sevilla was that they were so nice and they were so giving in the way they wanted to tell you about their heritage. And we definitely suggest having a cooking class to explore more of their culture.
And the best part is you get to eat that nice food that you made afterwards.
I think one of the things was because we stayed there only for 3 days.
Yes.
And Sevilla had many more things to do.
Yes.
And next on the list basically tells you why it is that way. Because it's so close to nearby towns. So there is the town of Cordoba, there is another town that was Alcázar, if I'm not mistaken.
There's also Gibraltar, there is Alhambra, there is the White Villages.
And these are amazing day tours that you can take by bus, you can take train, you can take lots of the modes of transport just to visit and get there. And there is a lot of history that's connected to it.
It's beautiful.
And Sevilla just is an extension of all that, right?
Yeah.
It's an extension of all of those places. and being able to see this history that goes beyond the spot is just so beautiful.
And I think if you are looking at like how to get the best, quickest way or the most efficient way in which to do one of these trips, you would probably rather take a tour bus, a tour guide who will include the transport for you and a guide. And so that way you actually get to see and explore the history and heritage, which is so important in this part of Spain.
So important. Let's finish off by giving you some practical tips about what we would have wished to know before we went to Sevilla. One is book more days. Don't book 2.5 days. There's just not enough time.
Yeah.
I think a week or 5 days would have been sufficient time for us not only to visit everywhere in Sevilla, but give ourselves some break as well and visit the spots and the towns nearby as well.
Yeah, wear walking shoes that are comfortable. This applies for everywhere in Spain. You will walk a lot.
Our feet hurt, but it's a good thing. There's a lot of good public transport as well. So Sevilla and Spain are lots of spots where you can walk and you can use public transport. So we definitely suggest the walking is really nice. It's good for fitness.
It's just that you need to be prepared. If you are visiting in the summer, we visited in March, which was actually pleasant in Sevilla. And if you are visiting in the summer, it does get quite hot. So just be sure to plan your activities around that. You obviously don't want to have heat strokes, and take water so that you don't get dehydrated.
And the last thing that we would advise is that shops close down during the afternoons, especially for siesta times. So plan your around that. That's a good downtime, or just walking around or strolling around the gardens. But also take some time to relax, because there's a lot at night that's happening. There's a lot happening during the day. So you can use that period just to calm down.
And it might not be everything, but it's always good to know in advance. Sevilla is one of those cities that is very soulful. It's one of those places that you really just want to take long walks after lunch and enjoy yourself and immerse yourself in all of the culture and the heritage that there is to offer.
And the community.
Yes, yeah. Oh, we have said that it was a smaller town, but we mean that in the best way, because it genuinely was so nice to be in a small town.
It's a really nice place to visit away from the biggest cities that are there. Madrid, Barcelona are nice, but Sevilla really holds its own when it is supposed to offer you so much beauty. There is football matches that are so beautiful.
How did we not say that?
We didn't talk about that, but one of the things that we really enjoyed was visiting and watching a football match. The crowd was so wild. They had a song. I wish I could sing the song. I make up that song. It was so nice. And really just being able to be immerse yourself in that sense of pride, that sense of community, the sense of togetherness exists in everything that Sevilla gives you and offers you.
If this made you want to explore Sevilla, hit that subscribe button. If you want us to plan your trip, get in touch and tell us, where should we explore next?